that in and of itself is going to be a great expense to us. I looked online, and the average rate is going to be about $18 an hour for that position.
Which is
6
cheap.
hours a day.
Which is very cheap.
That is very cheap.
Because
and that is if we can,
in Erie, they're paying them $30 to $40 for the nurses, RNs.
and you know, that's another added expense that we have to have. There's just so many things that are going to add, and then the ratio of kids to counselors, depending on the age of the children. We used to have probably 5 or 6 counselors there, and we broke the kids up by age group, and each counselor might have had 12 or 15 kids with them. The ratios have gone down significantly, so now the number of counselors that we'll need to hire is going to go up. The age of the counselors is no longer can we hire somebody that's 15 years old and let them work with the kids that are 6 and 7 years old. We're not allowed to do that anymore. The minimum age for a counselor has to be 16. So I don't know what's going to happen. Our goal is to keep the program in place and keep it running, but we're still right now in a fact-finding mode, trying to determine whether or not we can do it. We have to have a policy drafted and in place with all of the information that they want. The application is 68 pages long.
Oh my God. This has all been in action. Just saddle you with more and more regulations and more and more paperwork and more expense. I don't know how you could run a program like this now.
I don't know that we can. I honestly don't. I mean, I'd like to think that we're going to, but at this point in time, I can't say, yes, we're going to still have it.
I can fully understand. We're with Marty Bova, who's talking about the village of Mayville and anything else that might be of interest to our callers. We've got a couple of callers coming in, I think. Marty, one of the things I want to ask you about is, how about that, well, before I get into that, let's take one of the calls, okay?
Sure.
Hey, good morning, caller. Thank you for waiting.
Oh, good morning. This is Linda. How are you?
Well, hello, Linda. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
She has the sweetest old husband.
He's a young man. Good morning,
Right.
Marty.
Good morning, Linda.
So I'm just calling about Office for Aging services. I also wanted to mention that with our senior employment program, that with the recent vote in Congress in order to keep the government open last week, that employment programs were affected and were cut. And the Senior Community Service Employment Program, which, you know, we have the Senior Aid Program, was cut by 46%.
Who cut them?
Congress.
The Congress. These are federal programs?
The money comes, it's federal money that comes from the Department of Labor.
So, there we go. Away with all the good things, huh?
Yeah, I want you to know that Brian Higgins voted against this bill.
Okay.
He voted against it. And I give him credit for being able to stand up to individuals that were trying to exert pressure. And I really don't think it's appropriate to cut programs for seniors, because this program is very important for the livelihood of our seniors, and there are income eligibility guidelines connected with it.
Well,
and none of these senior aides are independently wealthy. They need these jobs to survive.
well, let me ask you something. You've noted that there's going to be no Social Security increase, which was promised for 3 years now for the COLA. What are seniors going to do for money? They've they've lost about 60% of their purchasing power since 2002, 8 years.
I know, and Brian Higgins and Schumer, our senator, federal senator, wanted to give seniors at Christmas time that receive Social Security, I think it was $200 or $250,
which is peanuts out of a $10,000.
But they wanted to give it. They wanted to do something.
Right.
And it was denied.
I know.
And Congress said they didn't have the money for it.
Well, may I ask Congress, I wish somebody stood up and said, where's the $8 trillion trust fund?
Yes. Well, I really do think that people should. I did contact Higgins' office independently as a private citizen. I'm not worried about my job. I'm not calling about this because I'm well past retirement age. But I'm very concerned about what's happening to this senior employment program. And I don't know why we were cut 46% when a lot of the other employment programs were cut by 10%.
So how about the fact that they're going to just do away with Medicare? They've already cut it half a $500 billion.
People really have to voice their opinions to the representatives.
Well, they're screwing the seniors, for sure.
Well, seniors vote.
Well, apparently not, because they wouldn't dare do it.
Well, they've got to become more active. We've got to have more senior power, and you have to contact your representatives and we have a very active, wonderful Office for Aging in Chautauqua County.
I know,
We're most fortunate. A lot of other counties do not have the activity and the outreach and assistance that goes on with our Chautauqua County Office for Aging.
She pinches every penny till it squeaks, although the pennies aren't coming in. Marty, you wanted to have a comment on that.
What's that, Rick?
You want to have a comment on how they're cutting the seniors.
They're cutting everything. I mean, there's...
Oh, they're not cutting everything, Marty.
Well, they're cutting things that are important.
Yes. There's some things that are not, and I don't want to get into a political thing because that's not my role, but not everything is on the table, and people should take a look and voice it to their congressman.
Tax cuts for rich people are not on the table.
There's a lot of other things that aren't on the table, and I don't want to get into that on this conversation. But you need to contact Brian Higgins, and of course he has been a real advocate for our programs and seniors. But let him know how you feel, and also Schumer and Gillibrand. Schumer and Gillibrand, by the way, voted yes for the bill. They voted yes. You can Google it. Go on the internet. You can see how your representatives vote. Go on and watch everything. But you see, they hit it so packed with so many things, and there were a lot of letters that were written by our seniors who are employed with the senior aid program about how important this program is. But you need to contact Schumer and Gillibrand also. Those are our
and they voted yes for this bill.
Pardon?
And they voted yes for this bill.
They did.
To cut the seniors.
Well, there were a lot of other things there, but there was pressure. Don't forget, they want Congress, the House of Representatives wanted to shut the government down. So that meant that our military, our men in uniform that are defending us overseas, wouldn't get their pay.
Yeah, they should bring them home, in my opinion.
Well,
okay. At any rate, Linda, thank you very much for your comments. I think that basically the seniors are they're being cut at every angle. Their food is being cut because of inflation, and they won't give them the COLA. Their Social Security benefits are being cut. They're losing now their Medicare and Medicaid, which also helps many seniors. They're cutting them back sharply. These are the seniors now, and I have a feeling that they're going to have to gang up and get together and just vote all these people out, start over. Because I can't see any changes.
Well, our representatives, especially, Brian voted against us, they're representing us. If we have any concerns, contact your representatives. Keep flooding their offices with letters, emails, and calls. Keep letting them know so that your concerns are represented. This is a very important time for seniors. And I received an email yesterday that what just happened is putting the senior employment program in the most critical, difficult time ever.
Okay, Linda, thank you very much for your report. Let's talk about this next week. Will you call again?
Oh, yes, I will.
Okay.
And I also there are other services with the Office for Aging. The number is 753-4471, Dunkirk, Fredonia, 363-4471. And I wish everyone a very happy Easter coming up and Passover.
Okay, thank you very much.
Have a great weekend.
Linda Spalding. Marty, we have about 6 or 7 minutes left, and is there anything particular you want to talk about? I want to talk about the farmers market.
I'll let you talk, and then if I think of something, I'll chime in. How's that sound?
The farmers market is a wonderful. You have one. When is it over there?
We have, they're working on having the farmers market down at the old Ethan Allen. They're actually going to build, or they're building a regular market looking with cantilevered overhanging porches, and it's really going to be nice.
When would that go into effect? Will it be good for this year, do you think?
I hope so.
I
know they've had a small farmers market set up down there the last several summers, and I'm really hoping that they get the building done.
Well, the farmers market is a wonderful advantage for the community because you can get fresh, very fresh food, just fresh picked food.
Everything,
and
yep.
it's at a rock bottom price usually, and you get a chance to support your local farmers, which is quite important too.
Well, the eggs are so fresh you can still hear the chickens clucking when
I have a
when you
farmer.
open the dozen.
I get my eggs from a farmer. They're brown eggs, and they're just fantastic.
Yep, we do too.
And I'll tell you something. These are wonderful. They're fresh. They're so fresh. I got a couple of calls. Before I finish here. Talk about fresh eggs.
Okay.
I just had one for breakfast. All right. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Reed.
What's up?
Good morning, Marty.
Good morning.
I got a question for Marty. Seems to be talk that there's a lot of stuff going on in the Mayville area, especially I think around down Lakeside Park. I'm not sure if it's a problem in the whole county or living out here. You hear a lot about Mayville. Have they figured out who's stealing everything, breaking into? They're taking ladders.
No, we haven't got any real good information yet, but if anybody does know anything that's going on, I would love an anonymous phone call. You could call the village office, you could call the sheriff's office.
Did you give him a number? If they're
The
listening?
village office would be 753-2125. The sheriff's office would be 753-2131.
That's good enough. They'll never remember any more than one.
Okay, is this a county-wide problem or is it just in the Mayville area? I mean,
It is, and you know, this is the thing. It's spring break. A couple weeks ago, we had some guys go through the park in their four-wheel drive pickup trucks and drive through the middle of the infield, and they rutted it all up. Yesterday, some kids got into the new community center down there. They grabbed a fire extinguisher and let it go inside the building, and the
What a mess, huh?
fire extinguisher actually set off the fire alarm, which activated the fire department. It made a mess. While we were there, we did a walk around of the building, and we have those outside farm-type water spigots on the corners of the building. We put those there so that our workers could keep the building clean, and
We're out of here.
they've broken locks.
We're out of here. You got 30 seconds to finish up, Marty.
They've broken locks. They've stolen parts of the spigots.
This is not just Mayville. It happens
It's
all over the
not.
county.
It's not just Mayville. I talked to a kid yesterday that mows the Chautauqua Cemetery, and somebody had gone in there and actually stolen all the brass rods that hold up the veterans' memorials at the markers on the
Unbelievable.
headstones.
Marty Bova, who is the mayor, is closing off. Well, you have some good news. 2, 3 seconds of good news.
Well, the good news is summer's coming. That's going to be a welcome blessing after the long winter that we've had.
And you provide boating docks
Our dock,
for
our boat-
peanuts for everybody.
We do. Our boat launch dock is out, so if anybody wants to go fishing and launch from Mayville Park, the boat launch is available and ready to go.
For peanuts.
I would caution you to watch out for any trees or debris that might still be out there floating around because it's still pretty early in the spring for that.
Okay, well, thank you, Marty, for coming and giving up your Saturday morning for our folks. Will you come again soon?
Sure,
Okay,
anytime.
great. Marty Bova, mayor of that beautiful little community, Mayville, New York, our county seat. Chuck Kelsey, thank you for setting us up. Devin Taylor, Chris Burt, Chris Ramaker for helping out here. We've got also a wonderful new guy here, John, who helps us out with all the great stuff. And we've got Jeff Zook, Dan Zins, and everybody who called in. Sorry, last caller, we couldn't get to you, but we'll get you next time. I want to thank everybody here, including John Hamels, who's in the office. May all that is proud and true and noble abide with you. Prepare for a wonderful, wonderful season of Easter. Get those eggs out and start dying and have fun with the kiddies. May all that is wonderful out here in Chautauqua County. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.